5, 16, 19, 21, 33, and 10. Check results. You remember?
It's a new something. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. No, sorry. Again. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me. And I'm feeling. I'm alright, actually. I'm feeling alright. I'm all over the place. I feel like day before yesterday, fine mood. Yesterday, bad mood. Today, fine mood. I really, again, just overhyped. I was like, wow, we've been on a real roller coaster, really. Yeah, we went from normal to slightly below normal to normal again. I think that's just called basically normal. If you like zoom out and you sketch that kind of pattern over the grand schemes of life, it's just going to look like a straight line. It's just all going to kind of, the mean line is just going to look completely flat. But hey, life is a highway, and I'm going to like ride it all night long. So that sounds a lot more like suggestive when you speak those lyrics instead of singing them. Life's a highway, and I'm gonna ride it all night long. You know. Also, you don't really ride a highway. People have said this before. You kind of like drive down a highway. Yeah. Anyway, it's another one of those days where, well, actually, my eyes aren't too red today, but I'm like exhausted. I'm very tired. What time is it? Too late. Time for me to get a watch. Am I right? Not really a watch wearer. I just can't see a world like a watch to me. Like, it's just, you have to, if you don't like how watches look on your arm, like you really want to have it as like a fashion thing, then there's no other reason to wear it. And if you're like, it's fine. I don't have a problem if someone's wearing a watch, but if they said to me, the reason they wear it isn't just down to like fashion or the way it looks, I would be like shocked or weirded out, kind of. I'd just be like, what, really? Like, are you just trying to like lie to me? I'm not going to judge you if it's just because of a thing. That's fine. I don't really care. But like, what, to tell the time, but you have your phone? Yeah, but sometimes it's just so much easier to have to go to your pocket and just look down here. But every single time I see you look down at it, you're like trying to work it out because you haven't got the watches of numbers. You've got like little lines on it and you clearly can't tell it that well. I don't know. It's just one of these things where it's like, I'm not going to remember to take it off when I get in the shower or the bath or something. The amount of times I've had Bluetooth earphones in and I've dunked my head, like I've went in the shower. Actually, I've never done in the shower, but I've been sitting in the bath, and then I like put my head down into the bath because I like had, I don't know, I probably had something in my hair. Like, what's it called? Why can't I think of, like, shampoo or whatever, like conditioner or whatever in your hair, and then like you kind of put your head back in the bath to like wash it out. And then I've taken my head out, and usually there's nothing playing in my ears at the time. It's just I forgot to take the earphone out because I just have it in a lot, and I've just completely submerged it in water. Like, imagine that as like in a really expensive watch. Like, taking it on and off just seems long. I feel like it'd start to hurt my wrist because I've got very weak, fragile wrist. Not really. Well, maybe I do. I have got weak wrists. Like today, I put all my pressure down on my wrist, and I just thought, I buckled under it. My ankles, they probably are quite flimsy. I'm a skinny lad, and they've not got much weight to carry actually there. But I just feel like when you're like sort of slim, lanky, and you growth spurt, you just have bad knees, back, all joints. Everything's just been stretched out too quick. If you saw my back, I don't even know if they're stretch marks. Other people probably know what I'm talking about if they got the same thing. Because I've seen stretch marks. I know what stretch marks looks like. They don't look like stretch marks. They look like someone's got a knife, a Stanley knife, and slit like horizontally 4 times across my back. And it's like it's weird. Anyway, what's the first thing I want to mention? I think, well, usually I always brush over Chelsea and just how they're getting up to. And we've signed so many fucking players. It's ridiculous. Like, so many. Like, it's an ungodly amount. And I don't really care. I mean, it's nice, I guess, to do well with academy players and like feel like, yeah, we're doing something, we're doing well, and we didn't spend money. But at the end of the day, it's kind of exciting. It's all these new players that we're going to get to play now. Let's see if I can even remember. We've got like Badashil. Is it Badash? Yeah, Badashil, I think. Because obviously, not that I can't. He's not even been here that long. I have learned to pronounce it, but I think it's Badashil. We got Mudrick. Is it Mudrick or Mudrick? I'll get there. I prefer saying Mudrick, so I'm gonna say Mudrick or Mudrick. No, I'm gonna go with Mudrick. Madueke, is that his name? Noni Madueke. That's from. The thing is, they're like exciting, good players, but we've signed them from Monaco, Shakhtar Donetsk, and PSV. So it's weird, and it's like usually you'd be thinking if you're signing players from those leagues or from those teams, because French league's the best league out of those three. You'd be thinking like, oh, you're probably getting stills. These are like young players who you're hoping are going to blow for you, and like in a good way, and not in a sexual. Anyway, they're going to be good for you, and you're hoping you're getting like a good deal on them. You've spotted a diamond in the rough early, but no, we've spent like 85 to combined on Mudrick. Noni was like Noni or Noni. See, I don't even know yet any of these people. Was like 30, 40, let's be real, he was like 40. And Badashil was like 35, 40, I think as well. So, oh my god, we're just breaking the fucking bank. And it just makes me think as well, because we've got a huge squad right now. People are getting like, people I like, because I'm a, what am I trying? I was going to call myself a limp biscuit, but that's just not. I'm not a wet blanket. What's it? I'm like a pushover. I'm like a. So many of these players who everyone else has like washed their hands of already, or thinks is just dog shit, or just like has wronged them far too many times, and they just think they're awful and want rid. I give many chances. Like I still love Havertz. I got soft spots. These people have done good stuff for me. Like I like Loftus-Cheek, man. I remember that Sarri season. I remember someone tweeted, which player, if they weren't injured, would be like a hero for the club right now if they didn't have like a big injury. And aside from all the obvious answers, like Reece James already is a hero, but if he hadn't had his injuries, or Ben Chilwell or all those other people, Loftus-Cheek under Sarri was so good. And then you get injured in a fucking charity match friendly. Comes back under Lamps, doesn't look that great, goes out to Fulham, doesn't have a great time, comes back, struggles a bit, finds a position out at wing back, has a good few performances, but then some mid ones, centre mid, injured again right now, but he's coming back, and it's just like, Loftus, like he had the trajectory. That end of last season promised he could maybe, not saying he would ever get to Yaya Toure levels, but he could maybe put in some Yaya Toure performances throughout the season. And now it's like he hasn't scored a Premier League goal in like 4 years. And towards the end of that season, he was looking just like a goal-scoring midfielder. Like it was a different formation, a different system, different manager, and different vibe, different timing. It's just, yeah. But yeah, we're one of the players from different leagues. Hopefully, the hands of Thomas Tuchel will be slapping all of their asses as they jog onto the pitch off the bench soon, and we'll be seeing some great performances. Do you reckon that's like they find that weird? What I was referencing as well, by the way, is like how in football you just get your rear ends smacked all the time, and it's like if you've done well, we're just like, oh, good job, mate, well done, mate, or go on there, do well, go on. You sort of as if they're like a racing horse. You just smack them on like the backside, and it's like off you go, whoosh, give them one. And I don't know if that's a football thing actually, or if that's just an English football thing. Because if it's a football thing, at what age do they start introducing that into the game? Because everyone's just like used to it. It's like, yeah, getting slapped to the bum by the manager is normal, or the coaching staff, yep, normal. What age are they introducing that? Because they can't be doing that at youth level football. Obviously, that's highly inappropriate. I wouldn't like to see it as a parent. So, like, is that something you get into? That's when you know you've made it. When you start to get a little bit of kinky, a little bit of dominatrix, a little bit of BDS, a little bit of a little bit of hand action on the backside. You're like, oh, I've reached a new stage in my career now. Like, I'm out of under 18s football. I'm in the real men's shit now. I'm getting that tickled. And the other question is, are they doing that abroad? Like, to players who are like 30 and they've never had that, this thing's weird. They just come to the Premier League and all of a sudden it's like, oh, like, you know, I wonder what it's like. And I mean, that's the thing is, realistically, no one really cares. What goes on in those changing rooms, you know, we've seen the videos. If you know, you know. I think the main example when you think of this type of stuff is like Saliba. I don't need to talk about the Saliba thing. There was some key components that I'll mention. Multiple people in the same room. Another keyword. Phone. Another keyword. Hard. Another keyword. Sort of like it was just it was just weird, man. Like they get up to weird stuff, and people like, you know, I don't know why sports people always doing weird shit. Soggy biscuit. I'm not like David Cameron has like pork to pig. That's weird. And he ran the country after that. Wait, I'm not actually sure. Was the pig alive? Or was it like a dead pig, like a pig's corpse? That is so... I've never actually deeped how disgusting that is until this very moment. Like, yeah, we know David Cameron had sex with a pig. It was like a dare or a challenge when he was like at Eton or one of these high schools. They make you do that to get into like whatever high rich boy blood packed club. And I've always heard it, and I know it's true, and I know he's like said it himself or whatever. But was it alive? That is... Because obviously I can't even go there in terms of like what's more gross, if it's alive or dead. But like if it's dead, it's like, that's nasty. It's like a dead thing. But at the same time, if it's alive, it's like, no, if it's dead, I feel like, well, it depends. If it's alive, it's like, it's squealing and shit. It's like, well, one's like bestiality and the other one's bestiality and necrophilia. Is it still bestiality? Anyway, let's swiftly move on from that. What else has been going on? What else has been happening? This is a shit one, isn't it? And it's bare late as well. That's probably why I've got like, I usually alright with energy when it's late, but whenever I leave the gaff, when I travel out and go on the train, I just get tired really easily. I think it's because I don't do enough stuff consistently, so when I do stuff, it's too much of a shock. If I had to go to something, and I didn't have to be that long, I had to be like 2 hours. And I was fine at first, and then within like half an hour, I'm like trying to hide the fact I'm yawning, I'm struggling, and I'm like, I just don't know. I slept enough as well, because I go to bed late, but I sleep for a healthy amount. I feel like I probably go to bed sometimes, usually like 3 or 2 a.m. But you're meant to get like 7-8 hours sleep. I feel like I get that. What would that be then? If it's 2, 3, it's be waking up at 8, right? No, be waking up at 10. Maybe I don't. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm counting my fingers like a child. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I woke up at like 11. I woke up at 11. Let me just out myself. I woke up at 11 today. And I went to bed at like 3. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 8 hours. So tell me why. Ain't nothing but a heartbreak. Tell me why. Ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me. Who sings that? I never wanna hear you say. It's like Take That. No, it can't be Take That. That's not that kind of music. I want it that way. Is that like Backstreet Boys? Yeah, it's kind of got... Backstreet Boys have that kind of angst, like the... that kind of thing, like the glaring lights and the sort of standing in like a vest, that kind of thing. Go, you know, that kind of thing. Take That was more like, you know, men wearing sort of like trench coats or like tweed stuff, kind of just like, you know, Robbie Williams, a little bit more ballady. You know, what's that guy called? Gary Barlow. I can't think of one Take That song now either. And they got a lot of tunes. When I say tunes, I mean I'm not gonna be listening to them by choice, but if they're on, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, this is a tune. This is an absolute tune, an absolute banger, if you will, an anthem. What's the one like Waterfall? I'm not even close to getting there. Gary Barlow, Take That. No, not one. It's crazy that people like Take That. Anyone who's just old made music. You tell me, name me one of their songs. Can't do one. But if you played 10 in a row, you'd be like, oh yep, I know that one, know that one, know that one, know that one. Like, so like I feel like the people who are famous, maybe not actually, but I want to say, for example, when Dua Lipa is like 40, people are still going to be like, yeah, that's obviously Dua Lipa. That's obviously a Dua Lipa song. We know that's Dua Lipa. People kind of just know who Dua Lipa is, and we're not going to not know in the future. We're always just going to know. But now, like, I don't remember. Like, for example, Take That. They were like a huge band in the UK, probably one of the biggest at that time. I remember Gary Barlow, and I remember Robbie Williams. I don't know who the other two were. Then again, Little Mix. In the future, I don't know any of their names right now. What's a good example here? Who's like, I don't know. I just can't imagine forgetting these people now. But I was thinking about that the other day. Well, today actually. Like, I won't remember. Well, I guess I will because I've documented it here. But for the most days you live, you won't remember. Like, I was thinking about, like, imagine going back to, like, my 14-year-old self and being, like, around the desk, and be like, hey, mate, you see this whole day where you got this whole thing going on, you got this attention, you got to go do this after-school thing, and you got this thing in this lesson, you got to get schoolwork done, so it feels like you've got a lot of things to do today. You are not going to remember a single thing about this day. You will not. And I'm not using magic. I'm not gonna like, wave a little stopwatch clock in front of your face and do any sort of hypnotization. I don't need to, but you will not remember a thing, you know? Like, I won't remember today, not a single thing about today. I could go back and remind myself of this now, what happened, kind of, but in like, how many, like, I don't know, even a month's time, a week's time, this whole day will be completely erased from my brain, kind of, like, I won't remember anything that happened. Just be gone. You know? Memory's weird. What stuff is... Imagine if you could choose what you remember. Well, you couldn't. But it's just weird, man. Like, is memory that big? Because realistically, key days from each year of my life. Like, how many memories do I really have? Let's say like 100 different memories. And you've lived like 10,000 days or something. No, not 10,000. If there's like 3 years is 1,000 on average, obviously it's a little bit more. But if 3 years is 1,000 on average, and then 6 is 2,000, and then 9 is 3,000. Yeah, you've lived thousands of days. Not 10,000 maybe. I don't know. I don't want to do the maths right now. You live thousands of days, and you can remember like 100 of them. You know, everyone gives the brain credit, like, oh, the brain can do this, the brain can do that. Well, I can't remember that many fucking days, can it? I can never remember my fucking national insurance number, which pisses me off. Not even a hard thing to remember. I hate having to go and check it out because it's deep within my phone photo library. And I could just screenshot it so it's near the front of my camera roll, or I could put it into an album so I can always find it quickly. But I never do, and I can never find it. And I know it's in a particular sort of month frame. But my dog is really stinking right now. She's just been rubbing herself up on the carpet. Her ears, she's got ears like fucking dumpster juice. Like it's like a fucking oil spill. They're just absolutely rancid, man. I don't know what's in them. It's like, oh, and they just excrete. And she's looking at me now as if what you're telling them that for. But they get itchy for her or something, and it's like gunk up in there, and she'll just like rub her head down on the carpet, and then it's like, if you start to activate it with kinetic energy, it just like increases the stench. It's really bad. And we've got them checked, and like we paid we took her to the vet. They looked at them, and they just tell you like, oh yeah, she's got like infected ears. It happens a lot with dogs with floppy ears. You're like, oh fair. What do we do? They give you this little like, but I think they're like drops or something. You drop them in, it does fuck all. I think that's what we got them for. Oh no, that was for because she got her ears inflated like balloons. What? She's like, can she understand me? This is what I don't like. I don't like when she does stuff like that. Can she understand me? It's like she's just not paying me any interest. Now I'm talking about her, and she's like asking me to stop. It feels like, or am I just putting that together in my head? But yeah, it's one of those things that she's had these like disgusting ears her entire life, and it's not like I'm convinced this dog has had fleas since day one, and we've given her flea treatment all the time. Always had fleas. This dog has always had fleas. I'm pretty sure this dog has fleas right now. Just lives. I feel like most dogs have fleas. Like they just have them. It's something that you can't get rid of it. They're always going to at least have a couple. And then we just accept it because we like dogs. We're like, sure, you can live in our home and occasionally piss on our carpet and have fleas, but you're kind of cute, so you can stay. And we're going to fork out money on your insurance and food. And you're going to contribute nothing, but you're kind of cute, so we'll keep you around. That's the thing. You get by just by being a little bit cute. Isn't that sad? The cute ones succeed in life. And what happens to the ugly little dregs at the bottom of the barrel? You know? They're out here working. And on that, I think this is 28 or 29, on to 30.
Here with the kids, and I have like 3 kids, and the geezer was probably on like maximum 20 bags a year. Like the most boring bloke you'll ever meet, like a Euros.